Welcome back to Mike's Italian Grand Adventure. Wow. So, as you can probably tell from behind me, I'm not in Italy anymore. I'm back at my house in Colorado. So, yeah, lots happened since I was last year in Colorado. So, pretty crazy. Um, but first of all, I just wanted to go through and thank you guys for the comments from last week's videos. I also want to give you a little update on what's going on with the house now, and then the plan for the future. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. All right, so it's a beautiful day in the Colorado mountains, and I'm getting a little bit of a break from the heat in Italy. Man, it was hot and humid before I left there, and it felt great to come back up here in the mountains, nice and cool. And in fact, we're at the end of July, and it was 43 degrees this morning. That's like 6 degrees Celsius for those of you on the centigrade scale. So it was pretty chilly this morning. But yeah, the sun's come out, it's cleared up, it's really beautiful. I've really been enjoying being back here. Been having a lot of wildlife lately. Here, I'll share a few videos with you. There's been a little family of turkeys, a mom and 4 little babies that have been here, and the babies are growing fast. Wow, I saw them yesterday. And when I first saw them, they were like this big not long ago, and now they're like this big. It's incredible how fast those guys grow. Then there's been a group of bucks. There are like 9 different bucks, and they love this scrub oak right over here. And there's some little acorns growing on there, and they're just eating all the acorns. There's been one solo doe that comes by here, and she loves to drink the water out of the bird bath right here. So that is pretty funny. In fact, I was sitting in my little reading chair over here, and she came walking by, and the bird bath was dry because a buck had just been here, a huge buck, and he drank it all and was wandering off back over this way. And so she looked at me. I mean, she was like maybe 5 feet away, 6 feet away, a couple meters away. And she just kind of walked into these trees right back here, this scrub oak, and just kind of was standing in there. So I said, all right, I'll go get you some water. So I walked over, filled up the bucket, filled up the bird bath, and then sat back down in my chair. And just a couple minutes later, she came out and just drank the water. She seemed fine. So it's been a lot of fun. I love the animals up here and the wildlife. It's been beautiful. And of course, the birds have been nice. So I'm enjoying my time back here in Colorado, but I'm already missing Italy, and I'm really looking forward to going back. So first of all, one of the things I wanted to talk about, last week's video, I was a little dejected. I was, in fact, super bummed out. The fact that they didn't finish the project before I left, I took it kind of hard. And one of the reasons is I just don't like finishing something. It drives me crazy, in fact. I have to finish something. So the fact that we didn't get it finished really bothered me. And the other reason was because we didn't get it finished because there was some poor project management. So that said, I do acknowledge that the amount of work we accomplished in 3 months was astounding. Absolutely incredible. To get that much work done in 3 months, trust me, I absolutely understand that, and I am blown away by it, and I'm really happy with the work they've done. So yes, we didn't finish, we got close, but we did get an incredible amount done. So I do acknowledge that. And the other thing is I wanted to comment on your guys' comments. The comments from this last video were just absolutely astounding. They were so supportive, so kind. It just absolutely blew me away. I couldn't believe it. I got a little tear in my eye. Trust me, I'm not joking about that. It was incredible. Everyone was just so supportive, said such great things. Everyone seems to love the paint colors. They love the bathrooms. Everything that everyone said was just so nice. Again, just blew me away. So thank you so much for all your comments. If you haven't seen those, go back to that video. I'll put a link here in the end of the video so you can go back to it. and just read some of the comments people have posted. You know, it kind of restores my faith in humanity, especially humanity online. You hear about all the vitriol and all the hatred and stuff online, and man, you guys have not shown any of that. You've been incredibly supportive. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching my videos and staying along and following the project. There's quite a few of you, or several of the comments said they've been following from the very beginning, from when I rode around the country, around Italy, looking for a place, deciding on a region, all the way up until last week. So that's incredible. I mean, that's like a year, full year. I think it was over a year ago, or getting close to a year ago, that I was riding my motorcycle around Italy, looking at places. Well, actually, it was in the spring. So yeah, but anyway, over a year ago for that. But yeah, incredible. Anyway, really amazing. So thank you so much for following along. The other thing I really wanted to talk about is the project. So the project is continuing. So two of the guys that live in Spain had to go back there to see their family. Dodrick, the guy in charge, his van had broken down on this trip, so he wanted to go back and buy a new trip. Needed to see his wife, needed to do some other things as well, and just take a break. I mean, those guys had been working 6 days a week for 3 months straight. So yeah, they needed a break for sure. So the third guy, Adam, he lives in the town. So he was able to come back and start working. So he's been working and doing quite a bit of work there. So he finished in the gym. He finished putting down the floor, the snap down PVC flooring that we did in there, and did the base trim and got the sink set. And if you remember where the sink kind of was under the window, there was a little step up. So he made a nice piece of trim along the front of that to cover that part, put the tile down, put the sink in there. So here's a couple of pictures of the work he's done in there. So you can see really high quality work. It looks great. Still haven't figured out the light situation in that room, which needs to be done. And one of you posted a comment saying, don't take credit for that. That's their fault. And actually, you know, that was true. I kind of, after thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, this is what they're doing for a living. They should have noticed that. They shouldn't let that go. But mistakes do happen. So moving forward, let's talk about what's getting done. So that stuff's been really, really great. Also, on my IKEA kitchen cabinets in my kitchen, Adam was working on that as well, and he got the refrigerator door hooked up to the panel. So when you open the wooden panel, it opens the refrigerator door. So here's a little video he sent me of that. So you can see that works really nice. It's got a little sliding piece of plastic you mount on the door, and it works to open that up when you close it. So really nice. The other thing you probably notice is there's handles on there. So here's a picture of the IKEA cabinets with the handles on there. So what he did is he sent me some pictures and with a piece of tape and said, hey, is this where you want them? And then I sent a picture back and drew a little line on there and said, yep, put them here. And so that seemed to work out well. Adam has been doing great work. And so I'm really pleased with that. So it's been nice. It's been kind of a bit consoling to know that they're still taking high quality work is still going on. They're taking the work seriously. So I certainly appreciate that. It helps me feel a little bit better about not being there. So the other thing with the IKEA kitchen cabinets, when I left, they're having a hard time figure out how the door worked on the dishwasher. When the door opened, it has to slide, you know, because they're like two separate areas or, you know, kind of angles. So they couldn't figure it out. And I was looking at online to try and find a video about it, and I couldn't figure it out before I left, and I was doing so much other stuff and I was so distracted. So anyway, Adam was able to figure that out and get that mounted correctly. So that's really good. So yeah, we're making progress for sure. Cut the hole for the sink, cut the hole for the cooktop. So all that stuff's in there. So really nice, really nice. So yeah, there's stuff still going on, but you know, I'm gonna have to come back in the fall and see, you know, what's left and what we need to do. So hopefully some of that stuff is going to be taken care of, most of that stuff. But the other thing that is going on is Paulo has really jumped in to get things set up so that second floor unit can be a rental. So he wants to get everything, all the common areas set up, and then get furniture for that rental. So he's working and looking on that and get everything cleaned up. So hopefully we can start renting that place pretty soon and start generating a little bit of income. So that's one of the really big hopes I have. And I've kind of given him carte blanche to do that. I said, listen, I trust you, Paulo. I've stayed in your places. I know the attention to detail you have, the design sense you have. So all that stuff, I'm fine with that. So obviously my apartment, I want to pick the stuff out for that. I want to do the design work for that. It's my place, my space. So we're just going to leave that hands off, other than getting everything working, of course. But as far as furniture, artwork, designs, all that stuff, we're going to wait until I get back there in September, and then I'll jump on that. So the other thing that's kind of interesting is my parents want to come out. So Mom and Dad, you guys watch my videos every week, so I'm really excited for that. So they are planning on coming out shortly after. They were asking if they could fly with me when I go there, but I'm going to need at least a couple weeks to kind of get things set up and get everything working, so it's ready to roll before they get there. But yeah, it's going to be really fun because they've been following along and have been super supportive and everything. So they're going to come over and check it out. And yeah, they haven't been on an international trip for a while. It's been a while. They're don't travel as much anymore as they used to. So this will be a fun trip. So I'm looking forward to it. Get to show off my place to my parents that, are a big part of why I'm here and why I'm able to do this whole thing. I mean, their guidance and raising me and teaching me fiscal responsibility and all that stuff. That's one of the only reasons I can do this, so yeah, so that's a big news item for me as well. What else is going on? It's just, coming back here to Colorado, getting accustomed to this, kind of letting things go with the project in Italy a little bit and stepping back from that. That's felt pretty good. Yeah, one of the things that I realized after I'd been back and right at the end, and actually looking at that last video last week, I didn't realize really how stressful that was for me. It was just one of those things where it just kind of slowly built up. I got there and then every day it was a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And I realized by the end, I wasn't sleeping much. I'd wake up early and my brain would just be going a million miles an hour, thinking about what to do and what decisions needed to be made that day, and what needed to be corrected, what needed to be changed, what wasn't getting done. It was just cumulative, and by the end, I started getting a few migraine headaches, which I haven't had in a long time. I used to get them younger, but for me, they're always stress induced. So as soon as I got that migraine, I was like, wow, okay, I'm not paying attention to all the stress that's building up. So yeah, it's, maybe it looked on a lot of the videos that it was easy. I'm here to tell you it wasn't. And the other thing I really want to clarify is I think a lot of people might get kind of a unrealistic expectation about how easy it is to remodel a place overseas. The fact that I was able to do as much as I did in 3 months is astounding. If I didn't have this particular situation where I could use that crew 6 days a week for 3 months straight that Paulo had provided, there's no way. I mean, if I had to do this on my own, find my own contractors, figure everything out, it would have taken me 2 years and probably cost 3 times as much. So yeah, it was really a big change, big opportunity to be able to do it, which is why I took that opportunity. When that presented itself, I was like, I can't pass it up because, now may not be the perfect time financially. For sure it wasn't. But I was like, I have to do it now, because if I don't do it now, the ramifications are it's not going to get done for 2 or 3 years. So yeah, it's incredible. So again, last week's video, I was dejected. I was disappointed. I was all those things, but I was also really, really amazed at how much had gotten done and how great it looks. And you guys have kind of been seeing it week by week. In the last few weeks, you got to see a lot of stuff happen all at once. For me, I was there every single day, so I didn't see those big jumps like you guys did. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely appreciate that and acknowledge that as well. So yeah, well, next week I think there's going to be a bit more because those guys are doing quite a bit more work. So I'm going to have a lot more stuff I can show you next week, and kind of the things that are getting done while I'm not there. And it's tough. Don't get me wrong. These are the little details I wanted to be there for. That's the other reason why I was so disappointed, because this last part stuff, that's the most important. The demo, you don't need to be there for that. They're just breaking stuff. They're putting it back together. Yeah, you kind of want to be there to make sure that's done right. And ideally you're there every day. But if you had to miss something, it's better to miss the beginning part and be there at the end, because the end is the detail stuff. Like for instance, Adam sent me a picture of my bathroom a few pictures and said, hey, draw on here where you want the toilet paper holder and the towel bars to be. I said, absolutely not. I said, do not install those until I'm there. I just want to make sure those are in the right place, because they're going to have to drill holes in the tile. So you can't really move those afterwards. So I was like, no, we can do those once I get there, or I can do them. I'm going to need to buy a drill and some ceramic drill bits and some of my own tools anyway. So I'll just do it myself probably. But if those guys are still around or still working on it when I get back, then I'll have them do it. But I wanted to be there to make sure they were in the right place, because I could just see them somehow misunderstanding or putting them in the wrong place or whatever. And then, then you've got a hole drilled in your tile and there's no way to replace that or fill that in. So things like that. So it's still a little bit, stressful. It's not perfect, but yeah, it's coming along, and I'm really happy to know that they're still working on it. And some of those things they can do when I'm not there, like polishing that floor in the entryway, getting that cleaned up, epoxy in the holes, the damaged part of those tiles, finishing up the electrical, getting the air conditioners working, all that stuff can be done without me being there, really. These are things that should have been done before, but again, they know what needs to be done. I don't need to really supervise that. If it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not. So that's easy. But yeah, so I'm going to have them hold off on anything that's really, specific that I really want to be in charge of. But other than that, I think most of the stuff that's left they can do, and I do trust them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't trust them. So they've done incredible work already up to this point, and they know what level I'm holding them to as far as my expectations. So it's great. So I think it's good. All right. Well, hey, I've rambled on long enough, but this is my first video not being in Italy, so I wanted to just kind of give you guys a little bit of everything that's going on since I've gotten back. So, okay, once again, if you like my content, click on the little thumbs up and give me a like. I appreciate that. That helps the Google algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, know that you guys are liking it. And then if you haven't subscribed, click on the subscribe button and then click on the little bell. That'll say you get some, I'll let you know with a notification when I upload new content. So I do have a few shorts I'm going to be doing next week. I haven't been doing those for a while. I really regret not recording a bunch of shorts before I left. I could have done like 20 shorts, in an afternoon, and then just kind of shared them along the way. And I didn't do that because I was just kind of so distracted at the end. But anyway, we're going to have more content next week, and stay tuned. And there's going to be more of Mike's Italian Grand Adventure to come. Thanks a lot, you guys.